What's going on, everyone? This is Courtney Rollins with the Aqua team, back here with amazing Crystal Payton. Again, if you all don't know, Crystal is part of the Aqua Team Rising Tides intern program. It's just us showing the steps that we've taken and we continue to take to grow and build this wholesale company. Again, we're not claiming to be gurus at all. We're actually very new, very young and learning, and just wanted to share that journey with everyone. So how are you doing, Crystal?
I'm doing well this morning. Can't complain.
Awesome, awesome. How's the week going?
It's going. About to say, I got calls in every day but Tuesday so far. I've did morning calls this morning, to kind of try to offset that. So things are going right now.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah. And I hope everything's going well with your little one. I know we were talking earlier. He said that he's having a little bit of health issues. I'm glad you're all able to take care of that and continue to take care of that.
Hmm.
Today
Thank
I
you.
wanted to go. I wanted to take a. I don't know if it's a step back or a step forward, but go over the overarching system that we're using to take these leads in. Um, like a lot of folks say, there's three parts of this business. There's the lead generation, finding the leads, lead conversion, converting them to contracts, and then lead disposition, selling those. But there's a couple of more steps in there. So I figured I'd pull the veil back and share with you what we're doing so that you could take those pieces and decide what you want to use, how you want to use it, and hopefully it'll be beneficial to you. Um, Also note that like when you're doing this, just like any business or anything that you're creating, any system you're creating, it's really important that you be real meta cognitive of what you're doing, like being aware of the pieces and steps that you're taking, because what you will want to do is eventually replace yourself in different places. The famous working in the business, on the business. Well, working on the business is highlighting and documenting those systems so that you can share those other people and leverage other people's times and energy. You'll never completely, well, at least I don't think I'll ever completely remove myself from the business. I'll just go on to other type of behaviors that are extremely important, high income producing behaviors. And so anyways, let me just share my screen and show you what we've been developing over here at the Aqua team to help us make sense of it. Let's see where we go. Sharing the screen. And of course, Crystal, stop me any point, anytime that you have any questions. If you're watching this on YouTube or any of those, social media places, please like and subscribe. Ask any questions or make any challenges or anything, because we're trying to grow and learn. We're definitely open to feedback and criticism, and so we appreciate that. So I really had it in like 9 parts, but I think I showed this to you earlier, Crystal. I said that I couldn't get my Microsoft Word to break it up into 9, so I was forced to put it into 5. But once I go back into there, I might break it up and pull it out more. But here's the overarching lead management system in 5 parts. You got lead generation. You have prospecting the leads. I could even say prospecting and marketing. And we'll talk a little bit about the difference between prospecting and marketing. And then you have the prepping the leads for acquisition. I don't have a pretty name for it, but really combing and grooming the leads until they're ready for the acquisition team to lock them up. And then closing the lead and getting the deal ready for marketing and putting it out there in front of investors so they can so that you can they can capitalize on the opportunity and the deal that you've provided. And then monetizing the deal. That means getting the contract signed and all the way to closing, depositing your check, then reflecting on the wins, the losses, all the things you learned from that process. So step 1, lead generation. We've talked about it before, but there's so many places, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get your leads. Prop stream, list source, you can drive for dollars. But what you're going to do is however you're getting or acquiring those leads, whether they're probates, whether they're whatever they are, foreclosures, you need to make sure that you have a good skip tracing system or service in place so that you can actually have your team chew them up and prospect them or market to them. So right down to the granular, getting the leads, cleaning them up, make sure they're formatted so that you can skip trace them, and then putting them into your dialer if you're using a dialer. We use a lot of cold calling here. And even text messaging. So you'll need to put it into your dialer if that's the method you're using. And along the stage, all of these, you need to track your numbers. How many list am I pulling that's going to help convert to a lead, that converts to a contract, that converts to a deal that's sold. The next step is you're going to prospect those leads or market to those leads. Now, prospecting is like going out there, being proactive and going to get it. That's like cold calling, text messaging, door knocking, direct mail, etc., stuff like that. Now, marketing is a little slightly different. You may still directly contact those folks, but it's a tailor-made message where you are creating content, like if you're using SEO, search engine optimization, creating a ton of content on the web so that people are attracted to that. People who that problem that you're presenting and that solution you're presenting is something that they need or want, so they're coming to you. So you're through radio, through TV, through SEO. There's probably other steps and places that I'm not thinking about that is marketing. You could even send a letter that's tailor-made and marketed to specific folks. But again, it's a tailor-made message. And it, regardless of what happens, if these calls are coming back to you because you've marketed to them and they've called you, or if you're knocking on the doors or calling, still want to qualify. CPR time, right? Condition, price, reason for selling, and timeline. And that's going to dictate the next step. The next step from that is prepping the lead for acquisitions team. And so right now, Crystal is spending a lot of time getting comfortable talking to people, and she's getting awesome. She had a great compliment yesterday about the tone of her voice and how welcome it was. That's awesome. That's great. So what you're trying to do in that stage is really qualify the leads under those CPR time. But just like many of us know, not all leads convert on the very first one, or they don't always fit into a readily or easy box. So what the lead manager needs to do, or this step in the process, is to make sure that each lead that is already touched has some type of code so we understand what stage it is in the system. And I have specific colors that I'm still teasing out, managing, and working with to make it easier for everybody on the team. So if it's color coded red on the calendar, that means it's a hot lead, should close within 60 days or less, and we need to get somebody on it ready to talk to them. If it's yellow lead, it means that it's there's a couple things it can mean, whether it's they're 90 days out or plus, or perhaps they haven't been fully qualified. In that first conversation, we did get everything we need to know. So that's not going to go to acquisitions. We don't want to use acquisitions time trying to figure out the leads ready. Acquisition is like lock, loaded, let's go get them, sniper. The leads that are like yellow and aren't ready for those will go back to the junior acquisition team or the lead management to continue to qualify, to continue to call, and to follow up with, to set them up to get ready. And yeah, so that's the exciting part. The lead manager and the junior acquisition are like essential because there's so many. It's like the pipeline fills up and it gets narrower, but you don't want a bottleneck because you don't know which leads to talk to. And that's the fun problem I have right now, Crystal. I have so many leads. I'm leaving so many folks unserved and so much money on the calendar every day because there's so many leads that are coming out. And so this system is going to allow me to know which ones to deal with, which ones to shoot back to the junior acquisition team to help follow up. And then you got conversion. You've secured the contract, you've set up, and you secure the contract, and now you're sending it on to the marketing and disposition team so they can put the flyers together, put all the relevant information together, make something look real pretty, and share with our investors so that they can see the opportunity. And you market the deal, right? After that, once you've assigned to the buyer, it's an escrow. Once you get the deal locked up, you're sending it to your title company so that you can have a legitimate contract and vested interest, put your EMD in. But once you actually get a buyer, you're also going to continue to contact the title company, make sure that it gets to close. Sometimes getting these properties closed is like catching a feather in a dream because it's just so many bumps and bruises and challenging. And that's why having someone specific on your team dedicated to it is extremely helpful. A transaction coordinator, or as I envision it, the lead manager would be doing this. My lead manager is like my quarterback, just steering everything. They're the nexus of this. So they're so pivotal. Make sure you get paid, and then make sure that you dissect and reflect on the deal. Don't just run on to the next one, but there's always something you can learn, even from wins. Sometimes wins can cover up really glaring mistakes, and it could that really can help you grow and learn. So it's important to dissect the wins and dissect the losses, because losses, we know we can reflect on what happened in the losses and hopefully learn from those as well. But there it is, like right there in the middle. Like in the middle of this, I will put like the lead manager, because they're going to make sure that the leads are generated, are prepped, are ready for our cold callers. And then when the cold callers send it back, they're going to make sure the leads are either need to continue to be qualified or are ready to set up for our acquisitions team. And then when the acquisition team locks it up, they'll send it back to the lead manager so that they're ready to prep it, to put it out to our buyers. And then once it's put out to our buyers and we lock it up, it goes back to the lead manager to make sure that it's that it gets all the way, to close, the transaction is closed and our numbers are put in. So this lead manager is a very important role to play. One thing I would say about the lead manager position, though, is that when we're thinking about this, funny, this conversation kind of moving towards, that's where my mind is, finding and hiring the right lead manager. And I'm finding a lot of resources and getting a lot of help from mentors and from people out there who've done it before. And one thing they say is like, really find somebody who's not necessarily entrepreneur minded, because, and that's actually good, because there's many people who aren't. Many people are still driven by money and driven by serving people and helping folks and can align with our values, but they're not necessarily out there trying to take on the risk and all the stuff that comes with being a business owner. And that's the type of person I'll be looking for. Lost my train of thought there, but I guess because that's such a critical, pivotal position. I know acquisition teams or people who come in through the intern program, they're going to want to go off and do their thing and eventually have their own space, which is awesome to me. That's more people out there to collaborate with. But my lead manager, I need them to like be my right hand. And if they decide to go off and do their own thing, that blessings to them too. But at least there's a certain expectation coming in. So it's exciting, all the stuff that you can use to actually find those type of people who are lean more towards less towards entrepreneurship. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that in my Forrest Gump. That's all I had to say about that. So any thoughts or questions of the overview or anything at all?
No, not today.
I dig that.
Not today.
I dig that. All right, well, I'm gonna pause this and let everyone have a chance to like, subscribe, and share out. Hopefully give you a good overview. And if you want to go into the weeds with any of it, holler at me at aqua-team on Instagram at aqua-team_properties or at Courtney M. Rollins, COURTNEY M. Rollins. Crystal, how can they find you if they wanted to chat with you?
I'm on Instagram at k.p_, that's me.
Awesome. All right. Well, Crystal and I are going to continue to chat, but it's great. Glad you all had a chance to at least hope it was helpful. All right. Rising tides.